at Steelers.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh plus 3.5 at home. This is a battle for first place. They've won 7 of 8 games against the Ravens, all decided by one possession. I'm taking more than a field goal. Russell Wilson, let's not kid ourselves here. I don't care what you think about him. 3rd highest passer rating in the NFL this season and a perfect passer rating in the 4th quarter. He's been money. He's been tremendous late in games. And they have a great defense, number 2 scoring defense. Baltimore, even if they outplay you, the back end is awful. Lamar against the Steelers, he's been bad. He's been bad. And by the way, this team had 11 penalties, trailed the Bengals at half. They keep games close even when they outplay teams because of that defense on the back end. I like the Steelers. Upset win in a great rivalry, 28-27. And you know I love the Ravens.
Okay, let's talk about this. Yeah, this is... I know so many Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Raven fans are not going to love this so much. But he said the score was going to be 28-27. I mean, I just think... I understand he hasn't been good versus Steelers, and I've already talked about this at length, quite frankly. So I don't want to kind of just keep repeating myself. But to me, it's just really one of two things that happens versus the Steelers. Lamar Jackson either signals that things have changed, that he has officially become a quarterback that you can't stop him. He's always going to have a great game, or more often than not, 90% of the time, he's going to have a great game. And anytime he has a bad game, it's just an outlier. It's a dud. It happens. And not so much of, hey, there's ways to contain him, right? No one thinks that there is ways to contain Mahomes. That's why there's no one is highlighting, oh, this coach has this record versus him. He can stop Mahomes. But they do that with Lamar Jackson. So we can either explain it away by saying, hey, the last game that they played each other was like this fluke weird game where the Ravens didn't step up, and the other games before he was young, injured, this, that, and the third, whatever. And so it's like, if he plays great, it can signal, again, I don't care what happened in the years past. It's irrelevant. I am an all-time great quarterback. The only time that I have a bad game is not because the coach of the other team and the defense just got the best of me. It was just because I had a bad game, man, and that happens. I'm not a robot. That's what it can signal. But if he has another bad game, then I admit I would find that alarming is too strong of a word, but I would be concerned. I would say, okay, this we're getting closer to this being a pattern, number one, and number two, this now signals, has anything changed from years past? Going into the playoffs, can we expect the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Because if the Chiefs keep beating the Ravens and the Steelers keep beating the Ravens, why do we think that something would change come time playoffs just because it's the playoffs? So that's why this game actually means something a little bit more to me than it typically would. But I don't even need to see the Ravens win. I need to see Lamar Jackson play great more than anything. But this is a game that I'm so excited for. I'm not picking who I think is going to win. I have zero predictions on this. I think it's going to be a great game. I think anyone that's confident that the Steelers are going to win or the Ravens are going to win, again, best of luck with that prediction. I'm curious to see more than anything how Russ continues to look as well. Is he able to continue to be the leader of that offense? Can the Ravens defense start to make some quarterbacks be uncomfortable and disruptive? And I'm curious to see how settled can Lamar Jackson and that offense get, how quickly, because they got off to a slow start against the Bengals, and they've obviously had some questionable offensive games as well. And so I'm curious to see, can they hit the ground running? Because they are aware of this, and they even asked Lamar Jackson directly, hey, why don't you play as well versus the Steelers? And he kind of laughed it off, which I loved. By the way, I loved his response, which I had already highlighted in a video as well. But it'll be one of those things where if they get off to a bad start in this game, first quarter, second quarter, whatever it may be, there'll be those feelings of oh no, here we go again. And that's, you never want to have that feeling as a team, oh no, here we go again. Because if you'll be feeling it as a fan watching, believe me, the players will feel it as well. So that I'm really curious to see what they have in store. And the difference between that 1 and 3 and Lamar's numbers is not only age, but also they didn't have Derrick Henry those years past. And so you got the workhorse of Derrick Henry, who is another big, gigantic X factor for the Baltimore Ravens, and so I'm excited to see how this shapes up for sure. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson losing, according to Colin, to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.